Hello, welcome to Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. I'm Gabriella Espinosa, and I'll be taking us through a shamanic soul realignment process for the next 30 minutes. So find a nice, comfortable place where you can lay down, relax, and receive this session in peace. Pure Soul Alchemy is a transmission of channeled shamanic healing technologies which restructure your creator source grid. Transformative operations and procedures are enacted for you while you comfortably relax. Through my perception and vocalization of the inner energetic grid, we are opened in ways which allow these technologies to come into our physical reality and enact change on our behalf. There will be quite a few moments of silence as I'm delivering these processes. Simply rest into the silence during these times and receive the healing energies. Don't focus too much on what is being said. Simply relax and let the transmission come through and work on you. It's quite helpful to go back and listen again repeatedly to deepen the effects of the session and take the healing further. Today's show is a shamanic healing session to support you to love and accept yourself more fully. This is one of the tougher areas for us to change simply because we ignore our deeper self as a matter of routine. We've been conditioned to discount our deeper feelings, pain, and longings, and to disregard and ignore our subtle body's cries for attention, healing, and love. In this session, we will unravel some of our basic unloving programming so that we can more easily and efficiently give ourselves the love and nurturing we've always needed. This is a very important requirement to having a vibrantly loving and nourishing relationship. Before listening to this session, be sure to ponder and contemplate the ways in which you habitually discount your inner needs and ways in which you overlook things that would enrich your spirit. These will be addressed in the session. Allow yourself to notice any feelings or sensations that arise during our session. Allow your mind to watch, witness, notice where you have intense internal responses, and give your higher self and spirit full permission to transform your inner planes of consciousness to what is real, true, beautiful, and best for your well-being. Now, some of the healing points that we're going to address in today's session, I'm just going to read a few of them. There are many. Awakening to true love in the depths of our being. Power in cooperation with the truth of who we are. Releasing restrictions on our heart's capacity for loving change. And releasing the internal view of ourselves as deficient or defective. So these are just a few of what we'll address today. So we're going to go ahead and begin our session. Now settle into your stillness. Fall into your natural deep breathing rhythm with no forcing. Just breathing. Bring into your awareness your heart, your feet, your pelvic bowl region, your joy to connect to your inherent loving spirit, your joy to reside in the true love at all times, and the immense happiness, love, and fulfillment that come from dancing with your inner creator. Extending that beautiful, loving connection to and with the universal creator. Realize now that you are falling deeper and deeper into eternal love, in this beautiful interplay that weaves beauty and love into your existence and the existence of all that is. Rest now in the knowing that you are held by spirit at all times, and that your orientation to life is undergoing a vastly improved change. Let that take hold in your sight, in your heart, and in your life as we go through our session. So we're going to begin by connecting with our divine physical and non-physical intelligence to align completely with our own core essence, aligning with the fundamental and essential aspects of ourselves, aligning with the earth, the sun, the moon, with our own Mother, Father, God, Self, with our own inherent Creator Self, and our right placement in the universe. The purest healing source within us is our own deepest aspect. We agree to serve as our own healing agent and to serve from and as our own ultimate inner counsel, the all that I am. We now invoke, welcome, and receive our beloved Mother and Father God to exact their loving, divine, blessed grace directly into our healing proceedings today. So we're going to begin with healing point number 3. So releasing restrictions on our heart's capacity for love, loving change, loving information, and love responsibility. So releasing these restrictions, holding back, negations, and also just a general saying no to love. Now we're working on the heart, the back of the heart, and the back of the solar plexus region, because this has a lot to do with, this is our personal will, our more specifically, our personal sense of self-worth. And we're going to do some remediation on the back of our solar plexus area. Basically, the entire back region of that chakra, which it includes the thoracic vertebrae, all the tissues, and of course the energetic constructs there on the back. Great, so we're just going to hang out there for a bit because there's quite a bit of unworthiness that we're addressing. And let's go ahead and affirm allegiance to the heart. Affirm allegiance to a life centered in love. And let's clear ways in which we have negated our power, our central power structures. Releasing internalized shame. Releasing internalized shame, internalized guilt, and internalized unworthiness. Okay, so specifically, we're going to do some clearing of how that internalized shame specifically has interfered with our personal will. Our legitimacy. Releasing the pattern of being out of integrity with ourselves. There are ways in which our choices are not in alignment with what is our truth. And let's also clear the pattern of seeking to be loved for stepping out of ourselves and trying to become something other than who we really are. Releasing the pattern of being dishonest with ourselves, lying to ourselves. Releasing the energy constrictive pattern of misalignment, internal misalignment. Releasing disingenuousness. And releasing the fear of not being loved for who we are. So contorting ourselves to accommodate another person's distorted vision, egoic desires. Now we're going to go ahead and initiate allowing ourselves the company of loving, warm, and supportive people in our lives. And allowing ourselves warm, loving, and supportive, nurturing situations in our lives. And we're going to begin rebuilding a substantial foundation of loving self-respect and authenticity. Great. Healing point number 4, releasing the internal view of ourselves as deficient or defective. So we're going to hang out, we're going to go deeper with that one. Releasing the internalized view of ourselves as deficient or defective. Seeing ourselves as broken. Releasing generalized fears, limitations, and unacknowledged and unquenched needs, desires, affirmations, validations. releasing the stranglehold of self-judgment and self-condemnation. These are ways in which we hold ourselves apart from and separate from the loving response of spirit and of those around us. Releasing the stranglehold of self-judgment, self-condemnation, and self-limitation. Releasing retaliation responses from our reality. Initiating the deep peace that comes from knowing we are loved and accepted exactly as we are. Falling into our inherent loving vibrancy. This deep peace that comes from knowing we are loved and accepted exactly as we are. Knowing there is nothing to fix. And we're going to go ahead and enhance our perception of our true selves. So we're going to enhance our waking conscious perception of our true value, our true lovableness. Relaxing into the perfection of our being. Restoring general grounding from a place of love, being loved. Relaxing into the perfection of our life's journey. Relaxing into our quintessential lovableness. Healing point number 2. Incorporating our power with the truth of who we are. Enhancing our mobility, our mobilization, and integrating contemplation of a new future based on a foundation and orientation of love. Releasing subtle body disrespect or non-respect. Resetting our individuality to strength and inner knowing. Adjusting the aspects of ourselves that we refuse to see, and bringing loving healing to those aspects. Great. We're going to also release self-doubt, doubting our affinity with the loving graces. And let's also release disjointed emotional patterns. Releasing an indifference and a subjugation of our personal will and personal power. And resetting to a new view of our individuality as infinitely evolving. Great. So that's going to continue, and we're going to go back to this piece about relinquishing, discharging, shame, guilt, and the consequential doubting of ourselves, negating ourselves, our needs, our desires for loving, grace-filled support and attention from Spirit. Great. So we're going to spend a little bit more time on releasing guilt and shame. Awakening true love into the depths of our being. So as this guilt and shame and repressed self-hatred is being discharged, we're opening awareness and infusing true love into the depths of our being. Instead, awakening to true love into the foundation of our being. Allowing our inner self to receive love and infinite acceptance. Right, so once again, discharging self-condemnation, self-judgment at the same time as we're opening and supporting all of our systems to allow in the inner self to receive love and divine infinite acceptance. Advancing the heart flow rhythm of internal love and compassion, and linking, connecting in with the divine universal heart flow rhythm of eternal love and compassion. And directing and applying this loving flow into our innermost depths. Restoring balance between internal and external loving, attentive flow. And restoring the embodiment of the divine graces into our lives, into our hearts. Repurposing to our divine and eternal fulfillment. So we're now creating a containment field, a divine circle of light all around each of us. And this will serve as a buffer zone, offering further healing, support, guidance, protection, love, containment, and eternal grace as these processes continue for some time to come. And we're now closing down our session in love, light, gratitude, and blessings. So I'd like to thank you for tuning into Pure Soul Alchemy with Gabriella. It is highly recommended that you listen to this session repeatedly. This will deepen the effects of the session and take your healing further with each replay. To schedule an individual session and for more info, visit www.puresoulalchemy.com. This is Gabriella Espinosa. Have a wonderful day.